All right, guys, we've been meaning to do this video for a while now, but there's just been so much other content to talk about. But I've been excited. This is a shoe on head video. The Twitch Th0t epidemic, Th0t epidemic, and its consequences. You know, I don't know if there are real consequences, but I personally, hey, it is what it is to me, brother. But let's see what we got here. Let's start it.
Video about how if you don't like seeing lewd. Years ago, I made a video about how if you don't like seeing lewd things online, simply close your eyes and walk away.
Kind of true, kind of based.
But what happens when you do close your eyes and walk away, but
You probably walk into a wall because you can't see.
no matter where you walk away to, you bump right back into it. Whether it's on Twitter, TikTok, or even Twitch.
Listen, here's my thing. If you're seeing that kind of deplorable content on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, then that just says, what are you looking at? That's you. That your algorithm is saying, hey, you want to see that. My algorithm, personally, I don't have that problem. As I scroll, don't look at these. If I scroll through here, there's no thirst traps on my page. Just a lot of video games. See, video games. There's nothing. There was nothing at the top that was boobs. So if you're seeing it in your page, that's just the algorithm telling you what you want to see. All right? That's why you only should go watch Tyler 1. That's it. Okay? That's the only person you should be watching. So, that's on you. Yay!
Dasani water. I'm gonna get canceled for this. All these years, and this is
I don't think Dasani water tastes that good, to be real with you.
what's gonna get me canceled. I don't want to hear it from any water
What did Dasani do?
snobs, okay? Where are my fellow Dasani heads at? But anyway, do you like the red hair?
What?
A lot of the Twitch
I honestly didn't even notice it, but yeah, cool beans.
thoughts that I'm going to be talking about have red hair.
all right,
I felt
let's
like I
do
was
this.
missing out. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are
Oh, like amaranth.
talking about the Twitch Th0t epidemic
Yeah.
and its consequences, as well as OnlyFans culture and the desensitization of I promise this will make sense.
And the what? The D what of sex?
Culture and the desensitization
Oh, desexualization. Okay.
of I promise this will make sense.
I'm ready. Make
Maybe.
it make
like
sense.
all my videos are just kind of messy brain vomit. I mean, I guess that's one way you could be sure I'm not plagiarizing. When I start to sound smart and make
H bomber guy reference.
sense, that's a red flag. I figured out how to use Chat GPT. So for those of you who are unaware,
Bro, the Chat GPT thing is very interesting. The conversation about AI, it's scary. It's because it's taking over. My understanding, artists are losing jobs now to AI art, and I know that because, listen, I've seen the AI art 34, and it's not that bad, and I use it sometimes. It's easier. I get to be more specific about what I want. It takes the heart and soul out of it, but it's a woman. I don't need their heart or soul. I just need their tits. Right? So it's interesting, but we're really going to have to start talking about what are we going to do as AI makes it easier and whatnot to make video games. I heard Pal World used AI. The game is great. It's more affordable, but there's jobs that are going to be significantly lost. So what do we do about that? That's why I'm a really big pusher of universal basic income. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry, a little inappropriate.
Twitch is a video game streaming website, or at least it used to be, where people often stream themselves playing video games.
Oh my god, is that Destiny when he used to play video games?
Interact with their viewers. But recently,
Is this a Destiny reference? An obscure, smaller content creator Destiny reference?
in the past few years, it has been invaded by women.
Oh no.
But not only women, naked women.
I'm so afraid of that. I am so afraid of naked women, dude. I'm terrified. I'm so scared.
Now you might be asking, Shoo, what is wrong with that? And normally, you'd be correct. But Twitch is a website for kids.
It's debatable. You know, here's the thing, right? Because we're not going to deny that young people use Twitch. But to say it's a website for kids, I think is silly. And here's why I think it's silly to say that Twitch is a website for kids. Twitch used to be a website for people who liked video games, which usually were younger men, because younger men were the ones who liked video games. Now, we're all older and not showering and still playing video games. So constantly saying that Twitch is for kids is pushing the idea that games are just for kids. They're really not anymore. A lot of them are for adults and kids. They're for everybody. You know, look at the top like Fortnite competitors. It's a bunch of sweaty fucking adults, weirdos, you know? That's where games are going. And a lot of games are pandering, or maybe the word pandering isn't the best, appealing. A lot of the games are appealing to an older demographic and a more competitive demographic, like League of Legends, like Fortnite, like Overwatch. They want that demographic. They want kids too, obviously, but they want to pull in that more mature demographic, especially people who want to be competitive, because everybody has that sense in them, like, I could be a pro one day. You can't. You're a loser, but you think you can, and that makes you want to play their fucking game.
Advertise for users 12 and up, and predominantly used by young boys. And the question on everyone's mind is, are these evil Jezebels preying on today's youth?
Obviously not. Are they taking advantage of a situation? Sure, but they're not preying on today's youth.
Or are they simply the product of capitalism? Clever, sneaky women taking advantage of people living under a brutal system in order to selfishly make money. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Before we get into this, let's quickly get into today's sponsor.
Soap.
When you're browsing the internet, you may think all your
it's a VPN.
Personal information is safe on there. Well, you're wrong. Unfortunately, it's become all too easy for hackers and data brokers to find all our personal information, including our full legal name, phone number, and even our address. It's gotten so bad that every 14 seconds,
dude, stop attacking
someone
me.
becomes the victim of identity theft. And people who are
super chatted $2. Can we give drugs?
What? Can we give AI drugs? What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. Yes? I don't know.
Active on social media, you guys, are more likely to have their data stolen. So I'm excited to tell you guys about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura is a company that is dedicated to helping keep your private information private. They identify data brokers that are exposing...
All right, guys. I'm sure she has a code in her bio. Go check it out if you want to download a VPN so you can more easily and freely look at child pornography, guys. Don't worry about it.
Oh, and as always, thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Now...
I feel like we got most of the ad, okay? I don't feel bad about the skip. All right, I made sure everybody knew what the ad was, okay?
Let's get back to the video. So about 2 weeks ago, this tweet showed up on my Twitter.
What is going on at Twitch? Really, the morgue pie? Here's my thing. I think that crosses the line more than anything else because it's a woman. No, because that's the trend where women or people, but women, are pretending to be naked. I feel like when you have, that's too suggestive. It's one thing to be, have your tits out. It's another thing to, pretend that you're nude. I feel like that crosses a line, if that makes sense. Just don't pretend. Dude, I'm actually gonna fucking goon.
Your timeline. What's going on with Twitch? Which showed a streamer wearing no shirt, swinging her fun bags around slightly off camera every time she got a donation. So for strictly research purposes, I went to Twitch to see if this was real, and surely enough it was, and it wasn't...
What is in your feed, girl? What are you doing?
Just one streamer. It was... many. It was multiple.
Ooh,
it was the entire homepage. And then when you went to click on one of the streams, it just took you there. No verification needed, no login required, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that might be another thing, too, to say, hey, you gotta pay the troll toll to get this boy's soul. His soul is what I said. No, but they might want to they might want to do something where they make sure it's listed 18 plus.
K1NGXD super chatted $4.99.
What?
Most Fortnite Pro are 13 and are
really?
catching the stream for the first time.
How old are most Fortnite pros? Really? No fucking way. More than 60% of Fortnite players are between 18 and 24. I mean, how would they really know? Is that true? Where do you verify that? The most successful professionals in the game tend to be players who are between 18 and 24. I feel like that's not true. I feel like that's not true, bro. I feel like you're gooning me right now.
And the whole internet pretty much agreed this was insane. Not everyone, we will get to that, but most people agreed this was crossing a line. Because of all the outrage, Twitch changed the rules. Not to fix the website, they changed the rules in order to save the Twitch thoughts.
Yes. Thank you so much for saving the thoughts on Twitch.
Twitch actually doubled down and made it so twerking, pole dancing, and artistic nudity was allowed.
Oh, it's so based.
Artistic nudity. Right. So obviously, Twitch is run by simps. We knew
I
this.
think they like almost immediately reversed the change, no? Like after like a day.
Anyway, artistic nudity. So like, can you glue googly eyes on
Well, I mean, there's naked yoga on YouTube. That's artistic nudity, I guess you'd consider it. So there you go.
to your d- Can you do like a little meat spin on camera with googly eyed, and that would be considered cool and fine because it's art, right, Twitch?
Pretty cool to me.
Why am I still doing this? Then VTubers, animated YouTubers, took advantage of this new artistic
They ruined it for everybody, guys.
nudity.
Fucking VTubers always ruining everything, bro. Oh, why do people have such a problem with React streamers? Go after the VTubers. These guys don't even show their faces.
Rule and started streaming their
It's basically just internet furries. Why are we okay with VTubers? They're just internet furries, dude. It's weird. Don't let them do that.
avatars butt-ass naked.
want
It's called hentai, and it's art.
I agree. Thank
Only
you,
for
Sammy.
them to get banned while the Twitch thoughts remained. Clearly,
Well, they were showing like horse cocks and stuff, so.
2D girl discrimination. A few days later, Twitch finally banned the Twitch thoughts for a day.
If you can't do the
Hey, just give him a little slap on the tits, you know?
time, don't do the crime. Okay, time's up.
This has been going on for a very long time. From hot
Well, I mean, in the defense of that situation, SpongeBob only stole a balloon, okay? It's not the same thing. All right, so relax.
tub streams to ASMR ear licking, Twitch has just become
What was she eating?
a cesspool for this stuff, especially in the past 3 years, following a pattern I have been seeing online.
Why are you seeing it? Are you a lesbian?
A huge increase of OnlyFans models and everywhere.
Yeah, there is a big increase of that, which I don't really care about personally. All jokes aside, I really just don't care. But here's the thing. I do feel like there is a sneeze coming. For some young girls, especially ones that are under 18, there's this idea that all you have to do is make an OnlyFans and you'll be successful. And I don't think it's happening to a lot of them. But I feel like for some of them, they're like, all right, cool. I'm not even going to really try to have college prospects. I'll just be a porn star. It's so easy. Because there are people who make a lot of money doing that. A lot of girls that'll make a lot of money doing that. What they don't know is that, especially after the first month, you got to do a lot more than just like show a boob. You got to start spreading, dude. You got to go crazy. Because people, they'll subscribe for the first month to be like, oh, what's going on here? But afterwards, they're going to want to see a show. All right? They're going to want to see something a little cuckoo bananas. So, you know?
And it isn't just my observation, it's a fact. There are many studies that came out that show pornography and pornography addiction increased significantly during the pandemic, especially for young people, and hasn't decreased since. And the amount of people making content on OnlyFans has skyrocketed. Being locked in our houses
They're just the single moms that work too hard. They're just trying to make that money for their kids, you know?
absolutely did
never gonna
something to
stop.
our brains. You used to have to go out of your way to see this stuff, and now it's everywhere. Now,
that.
compare this to how I talked about this issue a few years ago, where I would make fun of people for complaining about. This is like walking into a strip club and being like, get your horny asses out of here. The difference is
It's so interesting because I feel like the general tone when we talk about stuff like this is as if it's like, oh my God, this is such a new problem. This is so new. Like this has never happened before. But if you kind of think about it, I mean, this has always been happening. Like, you know, brothels used to be legal back in the day. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, yeah, I get it being an issue, especially with the accessibility. Young people have the opportunity to get into porn, especially at such a young age where it can desensitize them, which part of me is there as well. But at the same time, it's like, it's not as big of a deal. It's something that, you know, we just need parents to be better at monitoring their children because that's really all you could do. We should be focused more on giving parents the tools that they need to monitor these things. That's what I think what we need more than anything else.
is now everywhere is the strip club. It's to the point where even meme accounts on Twitter are being paid to discreetly advertise OnlyFans.
Bro, let me tell you something. Instagram is wild with their advertisements. They don't even, like, their advertisements are like full spread anal. I'm like, what the my wife shows it to me on her feed. I'm like, what the hell? Why are you seeing that, you dirty bird? You know? I'm hoping for one day she'll get a little frisky with, you know, me and another person. But we don't know, dude. Maybe when I'm 40 or 50. I don't know. Wishful thinking. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. I love my wife. But hey, if it does, I'll believe in you, God. Anyway, just kidding, I already do. Hey, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, it's crazy how like insane and explicit they are. They don't even hide anything, man.
Pages. And you can't even block the accounts that show up as ads on Twitter. Great website, Elon. 13 plus, by the way. And anyone who points this out is called a prude or a conservative. If you have an issue with naked women making softcore on a website full of children, you're the problem. How does the—
Again, I just don't like the framing because I just feel like it adds this, whether it's explicit or this like subtextual message that it's intentional to try to like groom kids or go after kids with this shit. It's just people trying to make money. I don't think that any of these people are like, oh my God, I really want children's money. Because like, where are kids getting the money for OnlyFans anyway? You know what I mean? Mom, I need that. I need $100 for some bits for my favorite streamer. Oh, who is it? You can't watch, Mom. Mom, you can't look. That's a terrible voice. Mom, you can't look. Don't look at it. Don't do it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's that big of a deal. Kids are doing that kind of weird shit all the time. Like I told you, when I was younger, I had just watched the first American Pie movie. And it was really good. This was when I was like maybe 10 years old. This was back in the day. That's how old you are. I'm 33. That movie came out when I was like 9 or 10, just so you know. And I remember watching it with my mom, and like, because it was a comedy and it was a little raunchy, but it was fine. And after I was done, I was like, oh, can I watch it again in my room? I really liked this a lot. So my mom's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I took it and went to my room. And as I was going, my aunt was in the same room. We all watched it together. And my aunt was like, you're going to let him watch that? He's going to go watch the boob scene. Because there was a scene with a girl with big boobs. And she took him out. And my mom was like, yeah, he's a boy. He's going to do his thing. And I did. But at the time, I didn't start, tickling my schmeckle yet. I didn't know what that was. I was too young to understand. So I would just look at it. And I was like, I would just get feelings. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling something. I'm feeling a thing. That rolls around to about 3 years later where I saw my first Girls Gone Wild commercial. And then I went wild. And then I cried because it was a huge mess. So yeah. Which rolls around up until today when I went to my doctor. My wife's gynecologist, because we were getting our stuff tested to have kids, and she called me the sperminator. So I got a good powerful stream. You know what I'm saying, dude? It's a pretty good powerful one. It's pretty powerful.
The overall well-being of society affect you, bigot? Most of the internet seem to agree that this Twitch thing was wrong, but there were a lot of people mad at me and others for pointing out the obvious. So
it's Twitter. You're gonna find somebody mad about something everywhere. I don't think anybody was really mad at whatever you're saying.
we're gonna respond to some of those critiques from people who disagree on this subject, and then we're gonna talk a little more deeply about all of this. Because I feel like it's a little deeper than the Twitch thoughts. The Twitch thoughts are just a symptom of a disease. Why doesn't Twitch just make a new 18+ site? They do this on Twitch because the market is already saturated on actual porn cam sites.
Yeah, it's if they made a new site, nobody would gravitate to it.
They won't stand out. They can find a larger, younger audience on Twitch. What I'm trying to say is, these should be banned. Okay, so my tweet was a little harsh, but am I wrong? Blaming these women for what Twitch allows and calling them accomplishes nothing except morally grandstanding that you think you're better than them. So first of all, I am better than them.
Got him. I mean, there's an argument to be made that this is more Twitch's fault for allowing the content, sure.
So is everyone who doesn't make on Twitch. And second of all, I know calling them whores does nothing. I did it because it was funny. These are grown-ass women toying with the TOS. They know what they're doing is wrong.
Hey, listen, I do the same thing with my jokes on every website too. You know, I can't really complain.
They know they're walking a fine line. That's why they're here on Twitch and not on the hundreds of adult websites that exist. If a pair of tits are so dangerous to you, maybe you should lock yourself in the cave. Cry more, little bro, and tell your fellow bros to stop thinking with their dicks.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Hello, fellow bros. Stop thinking with your dicks. Brace yourselves. The incels about to lose their minds and act like women are ruining Twitch. Lol at the men in these comments admitting they're—
Hey, it's probably keeping more people on Twitch, if anything. So I can see those boobs, you know?
They're not attracted to women. I'm sorry you don't like hot women. Maybe work on the internalized misogyny. Sorry. If you don't like huge oiled up milkers bouncing around on a Twitch stream, I'm just gonna assume you hate women.
I kind of I like where people are just like, you're gay. People are just like, oh, you don't like this? You're fucking gay. It's funny to me.
Do straight men even like women? Oh, you're not sexualizing women? You're not just gooning to every woman you see? What do you, hate women? What are you, gay? How did they manage to reverse engineer being
I am doing that.
sexist into not going awooga, awooga, honk, honk every time?
Well, because they specifically want you to go awooga, awooga, honk, honk in this scenario. You know, before we were doing it without the permission of the girls, right? And part of that made it hotter. You know what I mean? Isn't it hot, fellas, when a girl doesn't give you consent? That's a joke, 1,000%. Listen, I like a little bit of CNC now and then. Okay, relax, chill out, guys. We're gonna be okay.
Time they see a woman. Incredible. Huge fan of these mammoth milkers, but I do worry about the dynamic and weirdness of women who are essentially sex workers interacting with and asking for donations from chat on a site largely used by young men. Feels like a race to the bottom. When Vosh and I, the people who talk about f***ing Pokemon, are saying things have got
Fucking Pokemon? Pokemon smash or pass. Why? What's the point of that? Of course it's a horse. No, don't clip that, dude. Don't clip that. Shut up.
weird, I think that's
Don't clip that, dude. What did I even say? Honestly, that was fucking crazy. I think that somebody took over my fucking computer screen for a second there. I think somebody took over my computer. Okay. I don't even know what the fuck just happened there.
proof that things have gotten weird. As a sex worker, I agreed. I dislike the blurring of adult and all ages platforms like Twitch and TikTok, but I also don't know what men expected when it's so successful either. I don't know, I guess men expected women not to get borderline naked on a website occupied with children, maybe? The bar is really not that high. There is a market.
Again, I don't think it has anything to do with the kids, like in this intentional way. I think it's more of like, oh, this is a successful dynamic working. Nobody really knows what's going on. Fans are, it's a very disconnected thing when you see people commenting in streams or in chats or whatever. You don't really know who these people are. Most of the time they have like no PFP, you know? So
For literally everything. That doesn't make literally everything excusable. If you give your kid unrestricted access to the internet, that's a you problem. Parents have to take some level of responsibility over their child's online content
there's
consumption.
a level of truth to
So
that.
I agree with this. Of course I agree with this. Parents should absolutely be monitoring what their kids are looking at online. The issue is Twitch is advertised as a website for them.
Is it really? I guess I just don't see that it's explicitly advertised for kids.
It is advertised for users 12 and up, so parents will naturally assume that the website doesn't feature
guess.
like this. I think that's a pretty reasonable assumption to make. Like,
I have never really seen an advertisement. If anything, it's advertised as a gaming platform. I just don't see it being advertised as like a... I guess it's child friendly. I don't know. I guess I'm just focused too much on the intentionality aspect of it.
I don't have to sit and watch Nick Jr. constantly with a 10-year-old just in case Peppa Pig.
Because like Nick Jr. is very different from Twitch, right? Nick, that's for like kids. Twitch is not for any kid, just to be clear. Like if we're going to really have the conversation, Twitch is not for kids in any capacity. A 13-year-old isn't a kid. It's a teenager. It's a young person. But a kid implies somebody that's like under 13. Like we're talking about like a 10-year-old. It's not for kids. It's for teenagers. Young people, right? Maturing people, but they're not mature yet, right? So like 13 to 17, those are not actual kids. Those are like young people, so they're teenagers. That's the correct like level of development that they're in. I feel like we blur the lines on what a kid is. You know, I still agree that there's some of this stuff is not age appropriate, but there's a difference between a kid and a teenager. Like we should honestly be contextually accurate to that.
Pig decides to go Girls Gone Wild. It's safe to assume
I've seen that before. Rule 34, Peppa Pig. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding.
that is not going to happen. So yes, you should be monitoring what your kids are doing online, but this isn't like a kid going onto an 18+ website. This is a kid going on a website that is advertised for them, that is made for them. So this is in big part the website's problem. A lot of people were saying that the solution to this would be making
it's the website's problem as far as the advertiser goes. That's going to be the equalizer. Like, what is the advertiser willing to put up with and accept?
Twitch 18+, which I agree makes perfect sense to do, but the thing is, Twitch won't make it 18+, because that's what drives away.
I honestly think she uses the kids to cause outrage. I don't think that she's using kids to cause outrage. I think that online there's a fundamental problem of correctly having conversations about anything when it's related to people under the age of 18. Like everything is grooming, everything is pedophiles, everything is pandering to kids, everything is like predatory nowadays. So anytime somebody is under 18, they're a child minor baby. You know, when it's like, okay, like let's have the age appropriate conversation about this stuff. People need to be a little bit more mature. It's the same energy as people who are like, oh, you can't teach like an 8-year-old the right name for what a penis is because that's inappropriate. It's like, why? Oh, you have to call it a bing bong. It's like, what? Well, this is weird. You know what I mean? Let's have age appropriate conversations about things. You know, it doesn't make them wrong, or it doesn't make her argument wrong. It's just like, it would be nice if we were more correct about how we're talking about people under 18. You know what I mean? A 14-year-old might see this. It's a child. It's not really. It's a fucking teenager. It's a young person. But when I was 14, I was 6 foot something tall, and I was jerking off. You know what I mean? So it's like, just okay.
Advertisers.
In the middle of class. I'm kidding.
Lots of advertisers won't advertise on websites that are 18 plus. It's too risky. It's bad for their brand. And Amazon, the owner of Twitch, needs more money, of course. Same reason Twitter isn't being made 18 plus. Because at the end of the
when do you think Hassan's gonna he's gonna break down? He's gonna start doing like an OnlyFans or something.
Today, the richest men in the world need more money. And apparently, Twitch is going bankrupt. No wonder they want to keep the Twitch thoughts on the
Are they going bankrupt? I don't think that's true. This says we aren't very profitable we aren't profitable at this point. Amazon has been extremely supportive of Twitch, but that doesn't mean that they're going bankrupt. Those are two different things, but okay.
Platform. Also, I didn't even know that Twitter was only 13 plus until embarrassingly recently. Elon, I beg of you, either make Twitter 18 plus or get rid of the I personally think the former is the...
Why? Like, well, honestly, why? I think try to do a better job at monitoring young people seeing porn, but like, why get rid of the porn? First of all, 13-year-old's not going to explode if they see a boob. Second of all, like, you know, like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, who really cares that much? I don't think this isn't like the biggest detriment to children that we've ever seen in our entire life. Or teenagers, as we'd say. You know, if I was 13, I would love Twitter. Are you kidding me? I'd be all over that shit, boy. All over that shit, boy. I'd be going crazy, dude. I'd be freaking gooning all over the place. You know what I mean? I'm sympathetic.
The better idea, because I'm tired of seeing unsolicited opinions of minors on the internet, and I just don't get tired of seeing images of strangers' butt pop up on my Twitter timeline while I'm scrolling in public.
I like. All jokes aside, when on the rare occasion I do use Twitter, I never see porn on it. I don't understand how you're seeing so much porn. I really don't get it.
Always a joy. But think of the children aside, Twitch is just not a website for this. There are thousands of other websites for this. There are so many. So why do these women have to do this on a website not for this? Well, it's simple. Because the websites that are made for this stuff are already oversaturated. The market is full, and basically these mids are not going to stand out on a dirty webcam site where there's thousands of other people doing exactly what they're doing. But when there's only a few dozen on Twitch doing it, they're more likely to stand out, get more followers, make more money, and attract an audience that wouldn't normally go on those other sites. Unfortunately, in this case, a much younger audience. I remember in like 2008 or so, I did a fan meetup, and most of the people that came were in their 20s, in college, in their 30s. But there were like a few 12, 13-year-olds, 15-year-olds with their parents, and I was just like, oh no. Like, it just didn't even occur to me that people that young would be watching.
Why did it make you so uncomfortable?
My content or interested in my content. But just the fact that people that age knew about me was so scary. So
why was it scary? What was so scary about it?
I just have to wonder, like, how.
What's so scary about the fact that there are young people looking at your content? Why does it scare you? I can understand it being weird, but why the word scary? It scared me. Why? Why? What?
How are these people not feeling that way? Like, I didn't purposely go out of my way.
It's weird for you to be scared that you have, like, teenagers in your audience. That's just weird to me. You're scared of it. I feel like that's you overreacting.
To attract that audience, but these people are going out of their way to attract that audience.
No, they're not. They're not going out of their way to attract that audience. They're going to, this is going to, like, you just admitted that you didn't realize that you were getting young people. they're not going out of their way. Criticize them, it's fine. Nobody's going out of their way like, I want to get 13-year-old. They're seeing a website that's saturated by people and they want to use that. It has like, it's a popular website and they want to use it. It's really that simple. Nobody's like, I can't wait to get this 13-year-old. Why would they want to get 13-year-old? Like, people just realize 13-year-olds don't have money. Like, what are you talking about? These people don't even have money unless they steal their mom's credit card. And then they're more likely to get caught. They're trying to get adults. There's plenty of adults on Twitch. I would argue that the majority of the user base on Twitch is probably an adult. And the majority of the people who are donating on Twitch are adults. They're not trying to get kids. They don't care. I'm not saying there aren't kids watching, but it's like weird. The narrative here is that they're going after, they're trying to get these kids to, it's coming off as like trying to be so predatory. It's so weird. It's so weird.
If they weren't, they wouldn't be doing it on this website. They would be doing it on the websites this stuff is for. What makes it possibly even grosser is the fact that Twitch uses in-game money, meaning a kid could use their parents' money to buy Twitch bits or
Sorry, Twitch uses what money?
Whatever the money, meaning is for. What makes it possibly even grosser is the fact that Twitch uses in-game money.
What do you mean Twitch uses in-game money? What?
Meaning a kid could use their parents' money to buy Twitch bits or whatever the and then use those Twitch bits in order to get these women to interact with them and to shake their titties and their...
Oh, I guess they could. What does in-game money mean? Every viewer counts? Sure, the viewership might help, but like they could do that and then hopefully their parents are responsible and go, why are you spending money on my thing? Like, I mean, there's a certain level of this is on the parent. Like, take a look at this.
Their parents would never know.
It's just this idea that it's so intentional that like all these Twitch girls are trying to go after kids. That's the weirdest part of the narrative. If you're just like, yeah, I think it's not good because kids might be exposed to this and they might take their mom's credit card. Okay, that's fine argument. But it's like, oh, that's why they're here. They're here to fucking take advantage of little kids. No, they're not.
Many people suspect this is the reason Twitch made that change, but...
What I guess maybe it's a change. I don't understand the in-game thing. All my understanding, you can use in-game currency. My understanding was you just use bits. Like, is there a different currency? If she's just talking about bits, the reason why every website ever doesn't use regular money and instead uses their own like interpreted currency is so that you don't really know how much you're spending. That's pretty much it. It's not like this super complex thing here. That's it.
I don't know. It does line up with Twitch's MO. They will do anything to keep these women on their platform. They are there.
They just want to make money. That's all they care about. It's a fucking the game. It's a streaming service.
Cash cow. They bring in the big bucks. After all, there is a market for this. Men, takes two to tango.
True
Most
that.
of these bitches would be broke if it wasn't for your coomer asses. Oh wow, sex workers working under capitalism? How crazy. Every man in this comment section has mommy issues and gets no actions. Y'all mad she's making more money with less effort. Finding this sexual makes you're a pervert. Go to your dead mom.
Jesus Christ, your dead mom. What the fuck? Smartest
Twitter user. Sounds like you're just mad you can't manipulate a following in the same fashion. Granted, I don't condone it, but you're coming off as salt.
I guess this is smart. At least if Shuanhead's gonna tweet, she can make a video out of her tweet. That's smart. Because most people just do the Twitter thing and then they make no money off of it. It's just kind of loser shit.
See, as a group of people found a loophole around the...
But $600 for $5 and you have shit left over. You know, I mean, it just seems like, oh wow, I got 600 Twitch bits, you know, for $5. It seems like a good deal, but it's just a perception of value.
TOS and are abusing it. Frankly, these women should be praised for thinking outside the box and pandering to an audience that isn't oversaturated. You can't exactly criticize them for being smart enough to know which outlet has a higher chance of yielding income. What do you mean? It takes 2 seconds to take off my shirt. Literally any woman in the world can do this, but most don't because making on a website mostly populated by minors is gross and insane.
No, the reason why most women don't do this type of thing isn't because it's about the minors. It's because it's a weird, embarrassing thing that the people do. Like most people don't want to objectify themselves for money because they have some self-respect. Like, let's be absolutely honest. All right. That's not because there's kids here. That's nothing to do with that. Nobody's actively thinking, oh my God, there's children here. I don't want to do it on here. They just don't want to do it in general because they have respect for themselves.
Gonna be honest, I thought you were a dude. funny you shame the women when it's clearly women just taking advantage of the system we live under, capitalism. Yet you call yourself a socialist? A lot of issues do come down to capitalism, but as we do so often with other things, you can criticize people exploiting this system and exploiting the loopholes in this system. We don't just hand wave away politicians buying stock. We don't just hand wave away Jeff Bezos making his employees pee in bottles. Just
I like it when they do that. I get to drink them.
because we live under capitalism and it is what it is. No. Yes, ultimately, I guess it's a capitalism issue. It's a TOS issue. But you'd never apply this standard to people marketing gambling or crypto scams on Twitch, which is funny because, like, a year ago, there was like a bunch of gambling drama on Twitch, and one of the biggest critiques people had was, there are children on this site. You're basically selling gambling to children. So how is this any different? It's amazing that just because they're women, suddenly they get a pass. And if you call it out, you are slut-shaming or a pick-me, of course. Oh look, Queen Pick-me is at it again, putting down other women. Shu is, I'm not like other girls personified. Okay, this insult normally doesn't work, but it especially doesn't work here because I am like other girls. Most women, in fact, do not make on Twitch. It's incredible how criticism of even like a single woman is seen as some personal.
Well, I mean, you're also just engaging with people on Twitter. Like, this is not going to be the general. It's one of those weird kind of things where when you're on Twitter, you can get anybody to disagree with anything. So you go on Twitter, you have a take on something that's normal. For the most part, it's normal. Hey, maybe we shouldn't allow this on Twitch. It's a fine, normal take. Most people would probably agree with. And then insane people are saying dumb shit that are politic brain and going like, well, capitalism. And then you're able to make a video saying like, look at how crazy everybody is. Like, not really. Most people don't like agree with this or have this same train of thought.
Betrayal. And the only reason you would do so was male attention. I never understood why I need to feel some sort of like loyalty to complete strangers just because we were born the same sex. I don't know you. I don't support all of you. Some of you are dumb. Like as if these kids don't have access to porn at the tips of their fingertips. Trust me, if they want porn, they will get it.
It's kind of true, actually.
There aren't any toddlers on Twitch as far as I'm aware. It's 13 plus. Do Americans think
I mean, yeah, it's kind of a true statement, honestly.
children will be traumatized by seeing naked women?
The bigger issue is that they might be desensitized by what they see if they can go down like a loophole and see more stuff. But what stops that, I would say, generally speaking, is the fact that they don't have there's no way that they're going to these people's OnlyFans and subscribing because they don't have the money. And like it'll show up on the credit card as OnlyFans. So mom would have to be a real fucking moron, or dad to not take a look at that and scream at their kid. So,
do they not realize those same kids can and do simply go to porn sites to jerk off?
Probably.
Shu, I hate to tell you this, but the average kid is seeing way worse stuff online all the time.
That's also probably true.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. Let's be real.
Well, no, it's not about whether it's a good thing or not. But if the argument is like people are going here to take advantage of these young people, but these young people already have the ability to go look at stuff that's much more sexually explicit, then it probably isn't as big of a deal as we're making it seem like. Again, I'm not for young people engaging with porn because it can desensitize you, which it did with me. All right. So now I'm into weird shit. And it could potentially develop an addiction for a growing mind. Absolutely, I could agree with that. But when it comes to like the state of everything that's going on, Twitch shit is probably the least of our concerns.
This ain't nothing to kids nowadays. I grew up with the internet as a kid/teen and was able to find stuff back in 2002. Where now it's literally so easy to find stuff and most teens have phones. I don't think they would be fazed by this content. Again, that is a bad thing. Maybe
okay, but it doesn't matter if it's a bad thing. But the point is that the Twitch it doesn't matter if it's a bad thing. The point is that if the kids were trying to go there to look at these, it probably wouldn't. They can go look at porn if they wanted to see boobs. If anything, it's more of the parasocial bond that they might be forming, which is for anybody, because everybody does this, right? Like there's adults doing it too. Why don't they just look at porn? Because there's a parasocial element to that as well. And then I don't really know about the conversation about that or about how they, like weird or dangerous, I guess that could be. I mean, I kind of understand the idea of wanting to jerk off to somebody that you know, I guess. I don't know. I know this streamer, I want to jerk off to them. Like everybody has their favorite porn stars. So I guess it's kind of like that. I don't really know. I don't really have my favorite Twitch streamer that does OnlyFans. But I guess part of it I get. Me, when I look up Proxy Page and Bailey J, what the fuck?
It shouldn't be that.
And Bev. Hold on, what's her fucking name? Fuck. I forgot her name. No, I forgot her name.
Way. I hate this whole, well, that's just the way things are attitude. That's how you get people coming up with these head-ass ideas, like making
Someone needs to create porn for children. Okay, I don't know who this is. That's insane.
for kids, because kids will find porn anyway. There were so many replies to me that were like, I was watching hardcore since I was 10 and I turned out fine. Your Twitter
Like, that's why back in the day you find your dad's nudie magazine and it was like, whatever, you can't go anywhere from there. Nowadays you can go down a goddamn rabbit hole and see some weird, wild shit.
likes are public, sir. No, you didn't. You don't see a problem with this because you are extremely desensitized, and honestly, so am I. I'm no swerf, I'm no sex worker, exclusionary, radical feminist, because first of all, I'm not a feminist. It's like our culture has become so overly sexual that it's not even sexual anymore. Our culture is just becoming desensitized to
Yeah, I don't think that it's a bad thing that our culture becomes desensitized to sex, because it's really not that big of a deal. The argument, more than anything else, that I'm making is that you become desensitized to normal things, and then you need more extreme stuff to stimulate yourself. And that could be a bit of a slippery slope, potentially. Or that you develop an addiction to looking at pornography and it gets in the way of your life. Those are things that I would say are more of an issue. But if we're going to have a conversation about getting addicted to pornography, then the conversation that needs to come first is probably kids getting addicted to video games. Because that's an actual, probably a more real problem, or their phones. And I think it's so normal that nobody's calling that out. But I would say like addiction to your phone and to video games is much more prevalent or much more of a needed conversation to have than people's addiction to like looking at boobs on the internet. You know, there's other things that we should look into first, but we don't care because it's so normalized to us. Like, hey guys, for my job, I'm online all day just looking at Twitter to rage bait some tweets to make a video. You know what I mean? A lot of people do stuff like that. Like, I'm on TikTok all the time too, watching stuff, sending it to my wife. I take some of them and make content out of them too. But for the most part, like, I'm just fortunate to be able to make content out of that. Most people are just sitting on TikTok for hours at a time, being addicted, difficulties sleeping because of it, because you're sitting on your phone till like 4 a.m. There's a lot of stuff. You know, you prefer to be on TikTok than getting ready for work in the morning, and you end up being late to work for no reason. You're not even finding anything interesting. You just want to continuously scroll. Yeah, I mean, that's probably a much bigger threat, if we're going to say, I don't know if I'd even use the word threat, but that's probably a much bigger issue than like Twitch boobs.
And that's not a good thing. I guess I just miss the days of tasteful thigh. Because of this oversaturation,
Sure, I miss the days where I was super excited to see tits, now.
Many in Gen Z are apparently craving normal relationships on the big screen. They're bored of seeing sex everywhere. To them, sex has been available one Google click away since they were like 4 years old. And it's having really negative outcomes. Like the amount of grown-ass millennials.
What's the negative outcome?
Years old. And it's having
The impact of pornography on children. The availability and use of pornography has become almost ubiquitous among adults and adolescents. Consumption of pornography is associated with many negative emotional, psychological, and physical health outcomes. These include increased rates of depression, anxiety, acting out, and violent behavior. Younger age of sexual debut, sexual promiscuity, increased risk of teenage pregnancy, and a distorted view of relationships between men and women. Some of those are probably true. I wonder how heavily they linked the association. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, again, we're in the internet age. It's probably going to be hard to mitigate all these problems. I think that comprehensive sexual health education for young people is probably going to counteract some of these issues, like distorted dynamics between men and women, as well as like increased risk of pregnancy, sexual promiscuity. I think a lot of these could probably be mitigated with comprehensive sexual health education. But yeah, sure. There's definitely some negatives, I would say, when it comes to these situations. All right.
I think really negative outcomes. Like the amount of grown-ass millennials calling Gen Zers prudes and puritans is another word I saw. It's just really fucking weird. Like, I'm sorry, we're all addicted gooners. Maybe the younger generation is
gooning referenced,
trying to tell us something. Someone called me.
Well, if anything, if the younger generation is getting tired of sex, then doesn't that mean that things are equalizing out, and that's going to create less viewership and desire to see Twitch Th0ts? And doesn't that also show that if there is a decline in the desire to see boobs, that you're going to see that? Doesn't that show if like Gen Z, if the younger generation is less intrigued by this type of content, that most of the people engaging with them are probably older, right? Like, oh yeah, it looks like Gen Z has a marked decrease in the amount that they like to look at over-sexualized stuff. Oh, So that supports the argument that most of the people, probably adults, looking at the Twitch stuff. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying.
Me a prude over this. Me. Just like with video games when I was a kid. Boys are mad because...
Or not even that proves, but it just suggests. I don't know if I said the word proves. If I did, I'm fucking dumb.
Girls are playing in a space they've deemed theirs and are kicking their asses at it. So first of all, girls have already been in these spaces playing video games for years. There was no issue, so it's kind of
No, Papa, that doesn't support her narrative? Oh, okay. You're being cheeky.
weird to be like, sorry, we're kicking your asses, boys. Like, kicking their asses at what? Being naked on camera?
Yeah, I guess so.
Being naked on camera in front of minors? I just think it's interesting and ironic how, like, 10 years ago...
Me on Omegle when I was a minor? Not as an adult.
These same people were fighting to keep sexualized women out of video games, and now they are fighting to keep sexualized women on Twitch, a website for...
Well, again, first of all, don't get rid of sexualization in video games. That's gay. I want to see boobs. Second of all, I think it's more about availability. I think most of the argument, from my understanding, isn't that like, oh, sexualization of women on the games are bad. It's that there's only sexual women when it comes to it, and there's not a big diversity of different types of women or their bodies. Whereas for men, it's much more diverse and not always leans in the sexual direction. Right, so that's, I think, more of the argument. It's not just about, oh my god, there's sexual stuff. It's more about like, oh, why is there only sexual stuff?
video games. It has come full circle.
It has come. What the
If
hell?
only Anita was here to see it. Also, imagine
Are you saying like Anita Max Win? Anita Max Win? Are you talking about Anita Max Win?
flipping the genders in your stupid fake fan fiction. Imagine a grown-ass man
Anita
coming into
Max
like a
Win.
female space. I don't know, what's a female space?
The female locker rooms? I don't know.
Stanley Cup fandom. Those f***ing cups. Imagine a man coming into the fandom of these f***ing cups, dangling
Of these cucks.
his ding-dong around, and people are like, can you stop? That's really weird. And he's just like, oh wow, you just hate men. Like, f*** you. Go away. These women aren't
This doesn't seem exactly accurate.
stealing anything.
I never used to go on Omegle. It used to be a big trend when I was like just first started TikTok, and I just couldn't get into it. It was just too weird to me.
Thing from the men.
There's too much racism and male cock on there for me to look at.
If anything, they're stealing
Nothing to stream, dude.
from
would just save it for myself. Look at the peepees.
the women. Because the more Twitch becomes a website for this,
Oh, what's a female space? The kitchen?
the more this shit rises to the top. And the more normal streamers, especially women, who don't do this, sink to the bottom. If I was a
I guess.
female, wait, I am a female. If
I would generally say that like most of it's probably going to work itself out. Like the idea that everybody that likes to go on Twitch to look at games is all of a sudden just going to be so enamored with boobs that they're not going to be able to look at games anymore. I don't know if I like believe that. You know, like all jokes aside, like the rare time that I go on Twitch, I'll watch another Twitch streamer. I'm not on there to look at boobs. Like I think it's weird. I will just go to a porn set if I want to look at tits. Like I don't really know how many people are actually going on Twitch. I feel like if you're going on Twitch to look at video games, you're probably not going to end up looking at boobs. I don't think most people are going to do that. I feel like if anything, they're creating an entire new audience of people who like boobs. So for every person that might go, oh man, look, I'm going to go look at boobs today, there's going to be another person that's like, oh man, I'm going to stop looking at boobs today and look at this other gaming streamer, you know?
I was a female gamer, if I was a female gamer grinding my ass off in this male-dominated space, the same way a lot of men do, and seeing what female content rises to the top of this website.
Yeah, that could make them feel pressured, that's for sure.
I
Fuck,
would be
dude, this
pretty
is so cringe.
demoralized. Look anywhere, not just Twitch. Sex work starts to appear like the only successful avenue a woman can go down. In 2014, there was a lot of talk about harassment towards women online. And my answer would always be like, just trolls, just block them, just ignore them. They're trying to get a rise out of you, which is still true. But a lot of these people aren't trolls anymore. They're your followers, your friends, your
What?
allies. You see,
What?
sexual harassment has evolved. 15 years ago, it was anonymous trolls entering your chat like, show me your tits. Now it's Jeff, he, him, politely asking if you're interested in joining OnlyFans. You
Oh, well, okay.
know, show me
Oh, people who aren't already making the content. I guess the argument is that there are people going in and asking to make an OnlyFans. Okay.
your tits.
Yeah, that's just still sexual harassment. That's not okay.
For money. What is stopping me from taking off my shirt and making a ton of money? Besides, you know,
I don't know. Why can't I
a
go to
father
the right?
figure. Pretty much nothing. Any woman can do this, which is why so many women do this. The pressure is insane for young women nowadays, and I honestly feel bad for them.
Sure,
I do.
I
I
get
feel
that.
bad for women. What is this? What is this strange feeling? But from their point of view, from what they've been told, society is going to sexualize them anyway. You're a woman online and you don't sexualize yourself? That's okay. We got AI for that. Also, while
Based Taylor Swift?
I'm editing this, I just noticed that was an ad. That's an ad on Twitter. It says ad in the corner. Dystopian.
But did you just plug an ad for like an AI thing?
Why not simply take the power back and make money off the inevitable? It's getting weird out there. Men and women are being pushed and pulled in so many different directions. Women are being sold this idea that they should be independent girl bosses who don't need no man. And if they want to make the choice to be sex workers, that's their choice. And I consider myself socially libertarian, so I'm all for personal choice. But how much of this really is personal choice?
What do you mean? Oh, feeling pressured into something? It's still your personal choice. I mean, if you want to be famous so bad that you'll start like taking your clothes off, that's like your problem at that point. You know what I mean? Like you could just not be on the internet. You could just not make content. And I would argue most people who get pressured into it, well, I do think it's a bad thing. Like they're eventually going to stop very quickly if they're not comfortable with it. Most people aren't just going to willpower their way through.
I work 5 days out of the week,
Okay.
40 hours a week, okay? I do not make enough to live on my own. I would not make enough to pay rent, water, electric,
Fucking
and
Christ.
eat.
So
When
annoying,
are
this game.
things gonna go back to where you can work and support your family without f***ing stressing out?
That's a capitalism. I mean, unironically, is a problem with the rich people not paying their fair share of taxes and making too much money. So it sounds like, yeah, I guess we could focus on that.
I can't do
I
this.
feel like most of the people who do sex work do it out of some level of necessity, kind of. Maybe a perceived necessity, because it's just easier. So let's make it easier to make money.
Anymore.
Have to work a 9 to 5.
Really positive, but I'm just like, how is everyone else, and are you okay? Because the answer's probably no.
We're gonna just start an OnlyFans. In 48 hours, how much money did you make?
48 hours.
Oh my god.
I made a little over $1 million.
Oh! I mean, these are like famous people that are obviously going to make a lot of money doing this because they already have a name out there.
$47 million to show tits and ass. Why wasn't I born a girl? Their lives are on Rookie. I wish I was a girl to make easy money like that.
Well, you can be.
Women have it so
Again, most women don't have it easy. You'd have to be like a celebrity or whatever to actually make a ton of money on that. Like, it's not easy to just do porn. I argue most people are going to give it up and move on.
easy, it's not even funny. There is a lie perpetuated by people on the internet that OnlyFans is this get-rich-quick scheme, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The average woman on OnlyFans only makes $180 a month, and that's average. Most are making way less than that.
That's crazy. Oh, that's not like median. That's average. Oh, it's probably like $0 then.
But this get-rich
Because you got to get rid of like the really big top ones. Like, what's like the median? Like, take out the top of the top and the bottom of the bottom. It's probably an average of like $5. Yeah.
quick lie is not being sold by only random people on the internet.
You're counting the people that make like $1 million a month.
It's also being sold by OnlyFans itself. Kiss that 99-cent ramen goodbye and say hello to endless opportunities on OnlyFans.
Well, that is
this is just the 2023 version of, hey lady, I see you're having financial problems. Say,
Suck my wiener.
can you dance? I have a couple of friends who are pretty famous OnlyFans models, and they've disclosed to me that allegedly people who work for OnlyFans have approached them, telling them to post about how much money they made or show off expensive things they bought with money they made by
Oh, okay. Like, just to be clear, this is not concerning to me at all. This is OnlyFans, the business, going, hey, promote our business. No shit. Okay.
by being an OnlyFans model in order to recruit more women to be OnlyFans models.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This includes showing off handbags, expensive clothes, makeup, cars, and even houses. Like, I just bought my first house thanks to OnlyFans. It's disgusting to do this in general, but especially disgusting to do this.
Like, if you find OnlyFans disgusting, that's fine. But why is it disgusting to tell people, like, hey, show your success story so maybe we can get more people to make more money? That just sounds normal. Why disgusting? I don't really understand that. It's like, oh, the business that makes money wants to make more money. Oh, wow, it's fucking disgusting. Right? Like, I feel bad for people who feel pressured into doing this, but it seems like the pressure comes more from a lack of ability to live a functioning life outside of selling porn. But why is it disgusting? It just seems like a little terminally online.
During a housing crisis, it's just evil. It's incredibly rare you can make a living doing this, just like YouTube. And I could not imagine if YouTube sold itself like, tired of being poor, become a YouTuber. Like,
I mean, if they did that, I would not care. Like, okay. I wouldn't be like, wow, disgusting YouTube.
what? Now, why would they do this? Why would OnlyFans manipulate and entice poor, desperate people?
What? Come on, you're going too far with entice, sure. Why would OnlyFans want to entice you to make content? Probably because that's how they make money. Like, if YouTube started doing ads and there's like, Papa Guy, can you show people how happy you are doing this? And I was like, sure. I wouldn't like, would you call that disgusting behavior? I'd just be like, okay, it's advertising to be a creator. They don't need to do that, but.
Like this. Oh, that's why.
OnlyFans reclusive owner made $338 million last year. Yeah, sure, it makes sense. Tax him more. There you go.
Of course it is. That's always why.
Of course, the business wants to make money. I'm very based.
Way we are all selling our bodies to labor. We are all.
OnlyFans not always about nudity. Well, it kind of is. I know that there was a big push at one time for OnlyFans to try to move them out of the direction of just making porn. I remember they were trying pretty hard, but unfortunately it's not going to work for them. But like, yeah, it's not just about making porn. They want to make money in general. That's why they had a whole big push to try to get people to do OF, when that had nothing to do with that kind of content. I just don't think it's going to be successful for them.
Whether you work at a fast food place, you're a lawyer, or a YouTuber, you're a we're all for capital. At the end of the day, it's a job.
Wow.
These Twitch girls, these OnlyFans girls, they're getting their bag. Like me, like you, like everyone else.
Yeah, they're just predators trying to prey on children. That's what you pretty much said. It's weird how like the whole video is like a scare tactic. And then at the end, it's like, yeah, they're just trying to make money. It's like, okay. Well, you're basically saying they're fucking grooming 13-year-old little kids into consuming their content, and now it's just a job. I don't know. The energy's all over the place here.
And I guarantee you, a lot of the men who about OnlyFans models would do it instantly if they could. You would all be and why wouldn't you? Go to college and go 100K in debt for a useless degree that won't get you a job? Or this? Why wouldn't you? Break your back and spirit working a 9-to-5 that you absolutely hate and get no satisfaction from? Or this?
Well, I mean, I feel like most women wouldn't get satisfaction out of shaking their tits for money. I think most women would just feel embarrassed about that, which you should. So
why wouldn't you? And that, for the modern woman, is probably the most
I just don't think it's a big deal.
Black-pilling question.
Black?
Right now. Why wouldn't you get exploited?
How come there are no black boobs on Twitch? That's an issue I'm actually starting to have. I just realized I have a problem with this. Where are the black titties on Twitch? White girl. Am I racist that I don't see black boobs on here? What the fuck? Damn, I can't find it. I'm sorry.
Or exploit yourself. So is it really the Twitch Th0t's fault? Taking advantage of a market to make it in an overwhelmingly male-dominated field? Is it really her fault for trying to survive in this unforgiving world, in a society that will abuse, exploit, and degrade her anyway? Is it really her fault? Yes! Yes, it is! Get off Twitch! It isn't for the end! So that was that video.
Clearly, it's moving in that direction.
I have been wanting to talk about this subject for years now. What do you guys think about this? Do you also feel that?
I feel like it makes sense to criticize it, but some people just get like overreact to it. It's really not that big of a deal. So
that desensitization feeling I'm talking about? And how old were you when you first found this kind of stuff? Has it affected your life or relationships at all? But who cares about relationships?
Yeah, I like stinky feet and armpits. That's what made me.
Who cares about real women? When we can have an AI girlfriend, am I right?
$1.99. Vi Pandavi.
I'm sorry, what? Is this a is this the name of a black booby streamer?
Anyway, I will see you guys soon with a new video, possibly about that. New video for Valentine's Day. Okay, bye!
Is that what you just... Alright, cool video. Is that what you just sent me, boobs?
Hello, beautiful Kim. Congratulate streamer Rapshon on his birthday. Okay, happy birthday,
Why do you
Rapshon.
know
Rapshon,
this?
Have a great one. And you 30.
What's wrong with you,
okay,
dude?
Knowledge now, you know. Now
You fucking degenerate! You fuck you, dude.